Kurtzman. I won't have my character, but that's fine. Encoder overloaded again. What? Okay, I'm not gonna record. I'll just do stream.
Okay, I'm assuming we're live now because I can see that. Well, the background is a bit stuttering, but
Wait,
it is a bit better.
that fucking fixed it? Really?
Well, yeah, I could see the stream ending sort of thing, so seems like it's better.
It's the fucking recording that's doing it. Oh yeah, because recordings automatically do it, right? Like streaming automatically records it if you have DVR selected.
Yeah, it should be it. Well, we're live. Hi everyone, we're back.
Where were?
If we're properly live,
it looks
like
it looks on my end like no buffering at all.
Well, on my end, there's like a bit of buffering, but it's mainly the background sort of thing, the background video image thing.
Oh really?
That's on my end.
You wanna?
Oh, it's smooth. It's better now. It's better now. It's better now.
It's way better.
Way better now. But yeah, we're back, everyone. Hi guys. If for those not watching, I suppose, but that's all right. I'll put the message out once again to everyone.
Say that all the technical difficulties have been fixed and it's buttery smooth.
All right. You want to start us off while I send out the messages to the interwebs?
Were we at this point?
You want to like start again from the beginning? Just a quick sort of recap of what happened.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like that fixed. Yeah, it fixed the whole shit. Shebang. Okay. Where were we? Blah blah blah. Yeah, we're right here. So she's talking on the table with him in a fucking cringy ass scene that made both me and Tony laugh fucking hysterically.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But like for context, essentially, yeah, like they have a hug and it's, it's played off sentimental. It's like, oh yeah, but like, she's obviously fooled because he steals her comm badge. Like, seriously, that's so stupid, man.
The show's so fucking racist.
It's so bad, man. It's genuinely like terrible. But like for those who just came in, essentially, you haven't missed much, okay? We just did the opening where it was like, okay, we get some feelers with the mom, and then basically Paul Giamatti is sentenced, the mother is sentenced, they're separated, and now the main character, Holly Hunter, is talking with the other protagonist, which is Caleb, the young kid, and then they have this lovely moment, and then the kid steals her comm badge. But it's so stupid because like you would think like, wow, the kid steals her comm badge. You would think, Jesus, you would think it would work.
Yeah, that's fair in general. Then she gives us this cringy hug and says, "I'm sorry for locking your mom in a fucking work camp."
Yeah, it's just...
Was it a work camp or a rehabilitation camp? I can't remember.
A rehabilitation center. It's just genuinely so dumb. And like the thing is though, is that they even contradict it later on because they further state that she went to prison and not a rehabilitation center. But then they flip it and then they say it's a rehabilitation center again. So they can't even say if it's a prison or a rehabilitation center.
Yeah, so that happened, and then it goes to, like you said, the comm badge, which we already talked about. And here comes the worst fucking scene of all. That is right. The fucking open atmosphere. So he opens it. He opens with the comm badge this panel and escapes into an area where they don't tell us if it's breathable or not, Tony. And
I
no
know
one.
that. Okay, so okay, but before we get to the actual opening, I just want to say the fact that he is able to use her comm badge to open the panel without like anything, like he doesn't have to use anything. He just puts it against the wall, it opens, and then he's able to open the facility. And there's so much wrong with this scene because, like Cal said, they don't establish if it's breathable air. They also don't establish like the height of it until you pan out and then you see that there's like a huge drop and it's absolutely stupid how it's set up.
Yeah, it's fair. Then after this whole bullshit, when he disappears on the nowhere, and they don't bring this up again. In case you were wondering, in episode 2, that does not happen. No one ever references this scene again. And then we cut to 15
Yeah, it's
years
pretty
later.
bad. Yeah, the 15 years later, like, and the thing is though, is that during that time, it's like it opens a bunch of questions within the 15-year time gap because it's a large sandstorm. So, like, how did he get off the planet? How is he able to, like, oh, I don't know, find a ship and get off it? And also, how is he able to evade Starfleet for 15 years as a 6-year-old kid or so?
I agree 100%. And then you get like one of the most cringy scenes. Basically, what you're seeing in this image is the guard says, like, ask for your name. He decides to be a little shit and smart off, and then I, I I'm gonna say this. I think the best part about this show, at least the first episode, is the fighting to a degree. The dialogue makes me
It's
scratch.
still like
It's still bad.
I still hate the fight scene. I
Yeah,
like I'm gonna be honest, the fight scenes are terrible because there is like it's very choppy, and I had to like rewatch it and slowly like actually like slow down the footage in order to find like how he's able to get out of his cuffs,
yeah.
how is he able to fight, and also when he's fighting that one guard, he pushes it up against the force field thing, and that knocks down the force field in order for him to get access to the cockpit, which is so stupid.
Yeah, that's fair. And then this the other scene that basically fucking happens is even funnier. It's like there's so many jump cuts between these fucking fight scenes. And then so he gets his ass hauled off to prison for being an absolute fuck and stealing shit.
Yeah, and they also established that he's like done a bunch of crimes since he's gotten out. So great job, She-Hulk, for sending basically telling the kid not to trust Starfleet instead of sending him to school, getting a good education, and I don't know, becoming a worthwhile citizen. No, 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 no. He becomes a freaking criminal that essentially is like, and then that he eventually gets wrangled into Starfleet, but it's still just ridiculous.
And then here's the fight scene we were talking about before.
It's
He he
bad. It's just genuinely
he
terrible.
basically beats the two of them up, and then he gets like electrocuted at the end.
Yeah, I mean that electrocuted sort of thing is just sort of like it's like there's also another scene when he gets access to the cockpit. He then is strangled by one of the guards, but it's like why not just use the shock sort of stick to knock him out?
Yeah, it's fair. And then we get the title sequence. We're at the title. Starfleet Academy.
Yay!
And
Just what
then
we always
and it
wanted.
lands at the scene the place of Bajor. And then you get the ice cream scene where she gives the kids a life lesson on I don't even fucking remember. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, okay, so what happens is basically
1 second,
Holly
Tony,
Hunter's
before you
character.
go. Rusty joined in. Yep, I got everything fixed.
Hey BMO, how's it going? I'm here
What
to
up,
eat food
BMO?
and kick children, and all I'm and I'm all out of food. Oh well, we're up to the bit where you can kick children. I'm
Yeah.
back, it working.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good to know.
So after this cringy ice cream scene, you know, I have no doubts that Kurtzman said, I've written some god tier dialogue right here. And he's huffing his own fucking farts. You know.
Now, I will say that ice cream, I was gonna give him props to be like, oh, it's nice, but in all honesty, it just looks like shit ice cream. And like after the whole, she's trying to teach the kids like, how to coordinate, discussion and basically negotiation, and it just goes nowhere. Like, I guess that's lovely, but then like eventually we get such a hero shot with a quote unquote legacy character from Discovery that no one likes. Although he is played by a good actor, it's just too bad he's in a shit show.
The whole time I was seeing his character on screen and I was like, man, I could really go for another mummy movie.
Dude, it's so painful because like I feel like we could have gotten an awesome mummy movie, but instead we get this.
Yeah. So this happens, and then they're like sitting on the beach waxing about fucking politics, and that was boring as
And
fuck.
basically, Charles Vance, who is the quote unquote legacy character, he's telling her, oh, we did such a bad thing back in the day by separating a child. And the reason why you left is this and this and this. And it's like, he does the exposition in such a blase way. And then it's so bad because we're supposed to believe that, oh, she did the wrong thing. But like, she separated a child from a known criminal. It's I mean, it's pretty fair to say, like, she did the right thing.
Yeah, that's fair. You did like what the law required to, and they're waxing about how the law's wrong and all this other shit. And I can smell Kurtzman's fucking politics from a mile away.
And listen, when it comes to politics, I'm not really too keen on it. That being said, when you make it egregious in your product, you prepare to be called out by it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And then there's the whole scene. Well, you don't have to go to fucking prison. You can join Starfleet Academy. And he's like, I fucking hate the government. Is that about right, Tony?
It pretty much is. He's like, nah, you separated me from my mom, and you guys are terrible. The reason why I'm like this is because of that. And I'm just sort of like, oh, hold on, hold on, hold on. You trusted your mom, who is a known criminal, and essentially, you basically have been on the run for like what 15 years? Are you kidding me? And also, another thing is that Holly Hunter left because she's been looking for him for 15 years. But in the last scene, we established that she's been teaching on Bajor. So, like, did she give up for like 15 years or so?
This was one of Tony's favorite scenes. Do you remember what
God,
this one was
it's
from?
it's so bad. Oh God. You want to take the lead on this one?
So basically, throughout the episode, you're going to see her sit in that fucking chair in different angles. And every time Tony's blood pressure slowly starts to rise. Because it gets
It's the
more and more
goddamn
ridiculous.
chairs, man. It's the damn chairs. I hate it. Genuinely, I'm not even kidding. The chairs, like the way she treats the chair in like Starfleet is like so blasé. And listen, I don't have a problem with like the way you sit when you're like behind closed doors. But when you're on the Starfleet bridge or when you're like in public and you're a known figure in Starfleet and you're the head of Starfleet, have some goddamn decorum, have some respect.
Ah, and yes, this scene. So basically, I don't even remember this chick's name, but basically the fat Latina chick smarts off and corrects like a commanding officer, and nothing fucking happens. By the way, in real life,
Yeah, nothing happens.
you would get fucking called out for it.
But
And
like
then
she says, like she ate her comm badge. Like she's a Starfleet cadet. She's supposed to be quote unquote the best of the best. She went through rigorous training. She had to go through like an IQ test and all that sort of crap. And she swallows her comm badge on day freaking one. How do you even do that?
I don't think her badge is the only thing she fucking ate. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, she eats too much cookies as well. But like, what is Kurtzman trying to say with like, okay, she's a person of color who was fat, and on the first day, she eats her food. Like she eats her comm badge as food. She mistakes it as food. So like, is Kurtzman trying to tell us that like people of color that are fat are retards? Is that what you're trying to say, Kurtzman? Very progressive of you. You know, that's very bold of you.
And so we wind up at the bridge scene just before the chair scene that Tony hates. And every
So I have a nitpick with like all this modern Trek. So sorry, Cal, but the like with modern Trek, you know that like every single bridge looks exactly the same. Like it looks exactly the same as Strange New Worlds, Picard, and like every single other, you know, just like Discovery. Like it has that clean shine look to it. Whereas in like the Berman era, you can tell like, oh, the Defiant is smaller scale. It's very compact. You've got the original Enterprise D, which is very cozy, and then you have the Enterprise E, which is very much like a warship like sort of thing. And it's
did
like
you see what
I genuinely hate it.
did you see what Gal
Damn it,
Caraval?
Gal! Do not bring up the chair. Do not bring it up. Oh, I'm not even kidding. The chair actually like boils my blood. It's crazy. Oh, hey, Meeping Tom. It's Alex Kurtzman. Don't think he has much of anything to say. Yeah, it's Alex Kurtzman. He has nothing to say. At the same time, he has everything to say. It's absolutely stupid. He's an absolute donkey of a person when it comes to creating Star Trek. Sorry, just had to get that off my chest.
So after that happens, we wind up at the scene before she sits down. She gives a rousing speech that Tony was very much a fan of. You know,
Yeah, so essentially the speech is like, oh yeah, we're going back to Starfleet Academy in San Francisco, guys. You know, be the best you can, and that's it. Like in terms of speeches, it was honestly pretty pathetic, but hey, listen, you know, I'm not one of these cadets. I do not get, you know, I do not get inspired by this speech. Unlike, say, something from Kirk or Picard, it's just very much a, hey guys, you know, let's do it. And it's like, great. That's just what I needed.
and then he uses the search to look for his mother, who's gone missing, by the way. And the government, being how inept they are, they don't know where the fuck she is. Apparently,
Yeah, so the reason why Caleb, the main protagonist guy, is joining Starfleet is because he's using Starfleet in order to get access to, well, basically Starfleet's resources in order to find his mother. But during this sequence, he uses a code that he and his mother used back at the beginning of the episode that's only just for them. However, he sends a message. He hasn't got any messages from his mom. So he sends a message outwards. And this message leads to the events of the rest of the episode. So all that is about to happen is on him by sending this message.
So, and then we hear, and then he meets the girl for the first time.
Oh, yeah. So this is Genesis. I'm not even kidding. This is Genesis. Genuinely, like they've met before in a previous scene where it's just sort of like a casual sort of thing, but this is where she catches him like sending the message, and it's basically setting up their eventual potential romance. Although in the next episode they do establish a
Another,
more proper romance.
yeah. And then you see
But you
this
know where
thing.
this is going, Cal, right?
Yeah.
You know where they're going with this, Cal, where it's going to be a love triangle bullshit.
I'm aware that it's gonna be a fucking love triangle because that's all these kinds of shows do. It's fucking love triangles. Forget plot. Forget complicated like geopolitics or politics in an episode. No, let's focus on romance and ships and all this other shit. And
We'll
don't
talk about more about like the politics and the romance in the second episode because that's where it has a more focused on it. Suffice it to say, the politics takes a step back to the romance.
so and then in the next scene that the slide went to, we are introduced to, in my opinion, the fattest, ugliest character in the entire fucking show.
Which one, the Jem'Hadar or
Yeah, the Jem'Hadar, the half
the one on the
Jem'Hadar.
left?
Number
So, like,
number one, how did
well, let's break this down.
they don't have
You
parts?
can
If I
go with your
remember,
number one because
yeah, they don't have fucking
yeah,
parts.
they don't have genitals. The Jem'Hadar have no genitals because they were genetically bred to basically be war soldiers. They do not have genitals and they are male appearance looking people. So, how is a Jem'Hadar able to have a relationship with a Klingon? It genuinely makes no sense. And like the fact that it's kind of baffling in a sense that this is how it is. I thought they was male only. Yes, Rusty, exactly. Technically, they are males. They are males without genitals. They are male appearing. Problem being is that, well, Kurtzman didn't get the memo. And also in this scene, the woman on the left, who is the science teacher officer, basically says, "Oh, we found an anomaly. We're at this location. Let's have a look." So again, if they didn't do this, all of this could have been avoided. But because, well, she wants to have a look at some, message here, we get the events of the episode.
Yeah, that's fair. So not even counting this part, you forgot the most important part. She's not a full gem. Anyways, you know what she is? She's half. You want to say it, Tony? Because it irritates
Yeah,
you.
yeah. It's she's half Klingon. Like I said it before, but it makes no sense how a Klingon and a freaking Jem'Hadar is able to have a relationship. It makes no sense.
Not even counting the fact that Klingons have dominant DNA. So even if they had kids, it would look like a fucking Klingon.
Now, and I don't want to hear this, oh, it's the 32nd century. It's 1,000 years after Discovery and all that. Not Discovery, like Deep Space Nine and all that. I don't want to hear it because there is no way you can genetically evolve from having from having no genitals to genitals. That makes no sense.
And then we're led to this scene. I'm gonna skip past this one. Fuck that. Um, and then she basically they get attacked, and then a piece of shrapnel gets impaled on her. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention before. They shit talk a Klingon who wants to be a scientist, but and then he has to. Isn't this the scene where they have to save her? Or am I wrong, Tony?
Sorry, say that again.
Isn't this the scene where they have to save her, like the Klingon who wants to be a scientist? Because she got like a
Yeah,
fucking spike of.
so basically she got stabbed during the debris. Oh, also, by the way, can I also just say, so uh for context, they get attacked and basically this magical programmable matter, which is basically space magic, infects infects the ship so they can't do much. Every single emergency hologram goes down. So basically, there is no one to basically look after the ship and the crew. Basically, it's very limited to like a very small bit. So essentially, the main characters now have to take the Jem'Hadar half breed thing to a uh, to a med facility in order to help her. So our Klingon character is going to repair her and fix her up.
Okay, so and then that so there was a we forgot to mention there is a bully character who looked human, and he wasn't human. He transformed into the whatever the fuck this thing was.
The CG is so horrible.
Horrible.
It's actually kind of hilarious. Like at times I thought the CG was clipping through his uniform at times. And like if it is like prosthetics, then like I'm glad they went practical. It looks terrible. If they went with CG, it just straight up looks terrible and I do not like it.
Now the one part I know of that they CG'd in this shit was his fucking eyes. That I'm sure of.
Yeah,
They full on.
it does have an uncanny look, like you said, Cal. It does kind of look weird.
Now, so basically he's in oh my bad. He's in danger in space right here. He's freezing to death. They teleport him back in at the last second and save his ass.
Yeah, because his race is able to like
Uh,
basically be on the outside. He's able to breathe in outer space for a
yeah,
bit.
yeah,
And Rusty,
Rusty.
I
They did Greenlight season 2.
actually I think it's almost finished filming or they finished filming. So yeah,
Didn't
in
they say
terms
there was
of
didn't they
season
say
two,
didn't they say there's going to be a season 3 as well?
okay, so Kurtzman said that he is planning to have upwards of 5 seasons, but it depends on how season 1 and 2 perform. And so far, it's not looking great.
So yeah, like he almost freezes. They bring his ass back in, and then the ending. So Paul Giamatti's defeated by the main character kid. I don't even fucking care about his name now. And then they include the live long and prosper. Fuck the government. There you go. Is that pretty?
It's like I don't know.
Is that pretty right, Tony? Would you
That's
say?
about right. That's
Yeah.
about right. Cause like with the whole with the whole Paul Giamatti thing, like he basically comes on and he's like he's just out acting everyone, but he still can't be a shit. And it's like honestly, I really like the fight scene between Caleb and Paul Giamatti's character is honestly pretty bad. And the only information we know is that Paul Giamatti and the mother escaped to a Goja 5, if I recall correctly, the planet. And essentially, Paul Giamatti gets escapes. But the thing is, though, is that he's in a emergency shuttle, so Starfleet will eventually pick him up, but he doesn't because we need a series to continue.
Yeah. So he's, in my opinion, he's most likely held for like an end of the season villain. Would you say I'm right on that, Tony?
I would say so because, like, maybe he might have a scene in the middle of the show and then finally at the end of the show to tie things up. I would say that's what we're probably going to be going with.
And to counteract from earlier, I will say this: the technical difficulties. It was obviously a plan by Alex Kurtzman to sabotage me. Okay, you know, it's the only thing that makes
Yeah,
sense.
Alex Kurtzman has a personal grudge against Cal. So like, as soon as he heard that two of his biggest haters are like doing a stream together, he is like, nah, we gotta take him out.
So yeah, basically they land. They show the obligatory San Francisco, which is used in I don't know how many different shows, from fucking Charmed to what's another big show that uses it?
Not exactly so sure, but like, let's just talk about the scene, shall we? So after what they went through, we get this like slow motion sequence, like oh they've been through so much, and essentially oh we're playing the song San Francisco, and it's so like choir like, and it's so goddamn terrible, and like I get it, like this is San Francisco, this is Starfleet's home base. But like the music, like, oh, we're going back to Starfleet. It's like, come the fuck on, dude. Seriously? We don't need to be that melodramatic. And then later on, it's essentially a sequel. It's essentially a final scene between Caleb and Holly that says, hey, listen, you want to join Starfleet properly to find your mom? Yeah, let's do it. And then end of episode.
Yeah, so that's pretty much right on the money for that. And then we go to her looking over the city. Oh, that's not even counting the biggest thing. So there were no casualties on that fucking ship, with explosions going off left and right, and people getting crushed by things. If you look in the background and you decide to watch this trash tier show yourself, you will see people getting crushed by like pieces of the ship. Yet apparently we're supposed to believe
Yeah,
that everyone's
it
alive.
is genuinely impressive. Yeah, it is genuinely impressive because, like, you know, it because everything that has happened is Caleb's fault. He sent the message, freaking Paul Giamatti caught it, and that is the reason why all of this happened. And so the writers must have realized that and said, oh shit, this makes Caleb look like a fucking psycho if people died. So we get a scene where the doctor says, oh yeah, there's no casualties. It's like, really? We saw people flung around the damn ship and explosions happening. No one died from that. I call BS.
Yeah, so now there's this scene of them overlooking everything, and they're like, "Oh, it's good to be
Oh,
back
this is from
here."
episode 2.
Yeah. So
Yeah, this is
episode
from
two,
episode 2,
yeah, I
actually.
forgot to mention that. Episode two starts around the San Francisco. San Francisco is the end of episode one. So episode two is with her overlooking the city.
Yeah, so this one is she's basically addressing all of the people and stuff, all of the cadets, and basically saying, "Hey, listen, we've got the war students that have, who have helped us through the time of the burn, and basically, you are Starfleet, and you will be working together with the war people." And basically, again, she reiterates, "Be the best students you can be, push yourselves, and be awesome." That's really it when it comes to the conversation.
Tony, you can't escape the burn.
The burn makes no sense, and I don't want to hear anyone say it makes sense. It's so stupid.
You're gonna get some like fire emoticons, you know that, right?
I know I'm probably going to get it, but the fact that it comes from a series which anagram is STD is honestly hilarious to me. And the burn is so stupid because a kid cries out for mommy, and every single dilithium chain, the fucking crystal blows up, which makes no sense. How does it fuse with a kid on a genetic level? I need answers, Kurtzman. But of course he's not going to give it because he's going to be like, oh, I don't know, it's fucking cool. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Kurtzman. God Damn it.
So we are introduced to the opening of this, and fire, fire emoticons from Gao
Uh,
Caramon.
yeah, I feel burnt. I feel burnt, man. Like,
So
oh.
so we're at the point of the opening scene right now, and I see Tony doesn't understand the metaphors. You see, from a seed they're growing, so it's like the next generation, Tony. You know, it's like
Oh
it's just
yeah, I
being
don't get it.
planted.
It's so it's going right over my head. The whole seed being planted, mixed in with the tree being formed, with Starfleet intercut. I can't tell what it means. I'm a fucking retard, man. Maybe it's just beyond me. Maybe Kurtzman is just like he's got a massive 9,999 freaking IQ that's beyond me and Cal. Freaking amazing.
uh, fucking. So yeah, the opening happened, and then fuck, I can't remember what song it was that they used for the opening.
Oh, well, the opening was just your standard like opening music by I think Jeff Russo or something like that. And Jeff Russo has made some good songs. He did the opening theme for I believe it was Strange New Worlds, which I quite liked, and I think he did the opening theme for Picard season 1 and maybe 2, which I think he's a good composer. I don't think he's particularly great when it comes to like Star Trek music, but as like an orchestral conductor, he's fine. You know, I'll say that he's a decent composer.
So then we're left with the. So I didn't include the image, but there's a scene where they have to take care of these containers of goo for like a home, like basically a home ec thing. You know, like how you
It
most.
honestly doesn't go anywhere. It honestly doesn't go anywhere. But the thing is, though, right? So these goop things are like very dangerous specimens, and the doctor basically says that if the only way you can fail this assignment is if it gets on you and kills you. But if you do, if it gets on you, you get a C. But here's the thing though, it kills you. So basically, you are putting this dangerous specimen in the hands of freaking horny teenage retards. Like, what's the thought process, Kurtzman?
Yeah, and then like oh yeah, and I forgot to include this in the first part. This is what was his name? Jeddah or whatever. Was that it?
You mean the Klingon?
Yeah. Jaden. That
Jaden.
that was it.
No. It's
J
not It's not Jaden. It's
it's
Jaden. Get
Jaden.
it right.
And then you get a
Look at
look at
that
it.
armor, dude. Oh god, that armor is awful. It looks like rejected Starship Troopers outfit. It's so bad.
So yeah, we go into the intro sequence basically for the students getting going to like the standout thing. And oh, this character, I got something to say. So the guy on the left is supposed to be a Trump analog because I shit you not, they literally have an invisible wall to keep people out. Yeah.
Yeah, so for a bit more context on that, they're basically betazoids. Oh, you forgot to mention that before this sequence, Caleb meets up with the main,
Oh
with this
yeah, like
girl who is the daughter of the ambassador of Beta Z, and they have start this romance for basically the majority of this episode. And don't get used to these politics sequences because they only last for like 10 seconds at a time, if best. But essentially, Betazoid had been separated from the Federation because of the burn and all that. So they put up this wall or this barrier to keep everything out. But now that the burn is behind them, the Federation is growing strong. The Federation is trying to get Betazoid to rejoin the Federation, right? However, the ambassador basically wants to keep the wall up, and the only way he's able to come back into the Federation is if there are certain reasons, certain things that he's able to get in return. but it's just so bad and it's poorly conveyed, and it comes as a kind of a Trump analog, but like it doesn't really feel like it goes anywhere.
Yeah, so like they have a conversation and it goes to a standstill between Oded Fur's character and I don't even know who played the Trump analog.
I don't know.
Oh,
We'll just call him, I don't know, Deaf Ambassador.
yeah, there you go. And then we have the daughter and the main character.
Can I just say, like, I will admit, I don't think that they have bad chemistry, but I can't say they have good chemistry. They are fine together. That being said, I will admit I didn't hate the romance, but I didn't love it. And that's a big problem when you're investing me in a romance. And
Especially
the
for your two
problem is
main
though,
characters.
yeah.
Because
And the problem is though as well. Sorry, you go.
she's set up to be the female main character. So the issue
Yeah,
is when both of
exactly.
your characters aren't, how do I put this, likable, I guess, to a degree, or trapping you in, you have a serious problem with your show in general.
But the thing is also another problem I have with it is that this should have been plotline B instead of plotline A, because plotline A should have been Betazoid rejoining the Federation, where you can have proper discussions and the pros and cons of joining the Federation. That's how
Which,
Star Trek has always done it.
yeah, Tony,
But in this, it's a
you
fucking
forgot to mention their
oh,
first introduction was him getting slimed. So yeah,
it,
somebody
it
bumps
is.
into
It's
him.
like I'm not gonna lie, Cal. This is hard to get through because when I'm like talking with you through this, it's like genuinely like it hurts. It actually hurts to recount all of this crap, man.
So yeah, basically he gets slimed, and was it the medicine or the science teacher? Which one was it? The one that you know, I'm gonna be honest, she be batting for the same team, and you could kind of tell what team she bats for.
So yeah, this is a couple scenes back, but they get introduced before the ambassador meeting, like I was saying. But before that, the reason why they met up is because he was in a class with another legacy character, technically from Star Trek Discovery, Tig Notaro's character, and she's well, you can obviously tell that she is certainly of a demographic that likes the same gender. That's all I'm going to say.
I gotta say what I said on our Discord, Carl, because that'd get me canceled. But
Look, I would say it, but I ain't saying it.
so there's another dialogue between the two of them, and it turns more. Would you say heated? Like negotiations break down?
Yeah, so again, the whole point of this episode is you have like a little bit of politics and then it's back to the romance sort of thing. And they do this back and forth. So, and it's just genuinely not as engaging because you don't have enough time to get invested in the politics and weigh up the pros and cons, but you're spending way too much on the romance because and it goes nowhere by the end of the episode because it's setting up for future episodes. So you gotta like it unfortunately fails on both aspects.
So here's the bigger issue. So after this, oh yeah, you forgot to mention. So the people on the right, or the War Council, and they have actual good uniforms, but they're kind of setting them up to
They
be
have
the
some pretty good
villains.
uniforms, yeah.
But they are
They have some pretty good uniforms.
yeah, but they're setting them up to be villains. And if you know the villains I'm referring to, a certain group wore pretty snazzy uniforms is all I'm saying. Now
I mean,
what
yeah.
yeah,
Listen,
what
I don't. I don't think they
Do you
were.
pick
I don't
up
think they're
what I
intended to be the enemy, though. I know what you're saying.
do
I
you pick
don't
up what
think
I'm
they're
putting
going up
down?
to be the enemy.
What group I'm referring to,
Oh,
Tony?
oh,
Yeah.
oh! I could certainly say I don't think they're being set up as the bad guys, but I will say they are definitely being set up as the antagonist, especially what happens at the very end as a certain character has a certain decision. That being said, I don't like this. I don't care. I don't. The problem with the show is that the characters are boring and bland. That is so bad that you can't get into it. And a couple of people in chat realize where we're going with this.
Yes, Rusty, you are right, and so is so is a couple people in the chat. Yeah, yeah, you are right.
No, it can't be that
No,
group.
no, no, no,
It's
no.
it's the snazzy. It's the. I'm not gonna say it.
Those uniforms are very Hugo inspired. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, Hugo Boss is awesome, man. I wonder where he got his start from.
Holy shit. So after this, so a little bit before this, during these scenes where they're speaking, there's a musical number that I'll say
Oh,
is
hold on. You forgot. We get more romance. Don't you
oh
like that, Cal? You keep forgetting the romance.
oh yeah, I forgot.
But
Uh
yeah, essentially they're getting closer. Oh, and also another thing. You also forgot a very important scene for setting up. So in the last episode, we established that Goja 5 was where Paul Giamatti's character and the mother escapes to. So essentially, Goja 5 is behind the Betazoid wall sort of thing. So the girl that is interested in Caleb shows him that planet. And basically, this gives Caleb more motivation to get in with the daughter in order to, well, basically get the information and all that. But they still like each other, and there is that flirtation bullshit. But it's more romantic crap that I can't stand.
that's fair. And there's a sort of like cringy scene involving an aquarium and him asking
Yeah,
does
because yeah, the humpback whales, man, the humpback whale. She just loves seeing humpback whales. It's like, what?
so yeah, I don't have any more scenes past this, so we're just gonna riff on this. So there's a humpback whale scene. He asks for credentials to look at their information behind their wall, you know. What which you can pretty much get what that's inspired from. So they're like holding information.
Also, Rusty, yes, Rusty, Gene is turning in his grave over how Star Trek has become.
You
Because if he saw this shit, he would be absolutely mortified with the crap that he is seeing.
you could tap him for a renewable resource, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, that is true.
But so after that, he gets access. He sees the thing, and he doesn't tell her that it's for his mom or whatever. And so they go off like they're caught together by her father. Her father has a conniption fit because they're about to the it. What's the tasteful way that I could put this, Tony?
Oh,
Like,
they're about to fuck on the damn on
yeah.
the damn chair. But like, that whole sequence is just sort of like it's really weird and like it's definitely trying to go for the whole romantic thing, but the problem is though is that I just don't care. I genuinely just do not care.
she's about to be introduced to like, yeah, the human colonization process. If you catch my drift.
Hey.
Like, so after that, they get caught. Her dad freaks out and, says blah, 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 separates them. And, then we go to the next scene where
It's
where
party time.
yeah, where the commander has to defuse everything and say he gets his so basically long story short, he gets the commander talks and then she makes things worse cuz why not? And then they pull out of the negotiations completely and it's up to the daughter. He talks to the daughter, tells her how bad, so they get into like a relationship fight because he didn't tell her about his mom disappearing when they met for like literally 20 minutes ago.
Gotta be
So
honest, I'm on Caleb's side because like who actually trauma dumps on a girl as soon as they meet? Like, really? I mean, give it some time, man.
so he goes on to that and then after that, if I remember correctly, they smooth things over. He says he's sorry for that, which he doesn't have anything to apologize for, by the way. I'm not trying to excuse this writing, but like in terms of things, you know.
Bro literally just said, listen, I have been through a lot of trauma in my life. I'm sorry I can't just unload it to you like as soon as we met. And then she gets upset and pissy with him. And then he rushes to her and be like, hey, listen, I'm sorry. Get your dad back to the negotiations table. We're going to fix this shit. And that's pretty much it.
And then yeah, they get back there and negotiate. His one son decides to ultimately join Caleb's side of the fence with like Starfleet Academy. The daughter decides to go for the obviously for the War Council because those outfits are fire. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know. They're pretty snazzy. But I will say, though, that, like, you know, for what it's worth, for lack of a better term, the second episode, like first episode, it was at least entertaining and how bad it was. In
Yeah,
like, there's a lot more bad in that, but like you can make fun of it. In the second episode, the there is terrible politics in here. The romance is atrocious, and it's just boring. It's romantic crap that just goes nowhere. It's just setting up for future episodes, and it's like I don't care.
yeah, that's about right in general with this. And then it gets even worse, you know, because after this scene, a little something happens. So going back, so that's the end of the episode. Like, oh, the brothers rooming with Caleb and the bully character who's a bit of an and the brother is you can kind of tell which team he bats for because he's staring at men working
I
out.
I I I I ain't saying it. I ain't saying it, dude. You say it.
I ain't getting canceled. He's like, you know what I'm saying, okay? You know, if you know what I'm saying, you could put a was it like a hot dog emoji in the or an eggplant. There you go in the chat.
I don't think they know. They're
Yeah.
too innocent to know.
Oh yeah,
Come
yeah.
on, guys.
But that's the whole thing with that, and go Caramon.
Hey, man, I didn't
I didn't
say it.
say it.
I didn't say it. But like, we pretty much rushed through this because, like,
We
gonna be real, there's really not much to talk about when it comes to these two episodes. That being said, like in terms of an overview, nothing really happens. But like when you go in depth and nitpick things, it honestly is like it's a web that just keeps on unfolding. It's absolutely insane.
so the bigger thing with this episode, we forgot to mention this earlier in the episode when they first get there, and there's two other Odin first character, and then there's the war college or war command or whatever. They're they're like their boss. So their commander. Basically, what happens during that scene? she's wearing flip flops. Tony forgot to mention this.
No, it's worse than flip flops. She's going barefoot when she's
Oh,
addressing the damn uh leader of that. And like, look, listen, I don't mind having if you're gonna be blasé, do it behind closed doors. But the fact that she's addressing her technically her superior, which is the Charles Vance character, the what's the guy's name? The actor.
Odin Fur.
Uh yeah, Odin Fur. Like she's addressing him in such a casual way. And then with the war campus head sort of guy, he's a very strict, disciplined guy. He's the sort of guy I would expect to be a principal, especially teaching, the next generation of people who have militaristic background. But she's so blasé. She's walking around, without shoes, and she's acting like a goddamn hippie at times.
And then the fact that none of the students respect her because she doesn't respect herself in general. Because like you have to hold, it's a difference between being a teacher and being the literal the literal head of a school, like an
She
academy.
okay, it's worse because she's the chancellor for Starfleet Academy. She's a Starfleet captain, and none of the students respect her. Caleb especially, because during their private conversations, he dismisses himself. He is snarky towards her in front of her subordinates. He openly admits to hacking stuff in front of her subordinates, like right in front of her. It's like, and he's getting away with so much leeway, and the reason is because he's supposed to be a surrogate son to her. But the fact that he's able to get away with so much, it's honestly unbelievable at times.
Yeah, so that's basically the whole thing with that. And then it's like, oh yeah, she joined the war college. And then they use that as a sort of like, oh, to cause like complications in the episode, like and
Now, in the trailer, we do see that they do reunite. So clearly she's
yeah.
a recurring character, and there's going to be butting heads with the War Campus and the Starfleet Academy. So I'm assuming what happens is they're at odds, but then they still love each other or some bullshit like that. Because we do see them kiss in one of the trailers. I don't care. I was just looking through one of the trailers for like my own video that I'm making. But yeah, that happens, and it's honestly stupid.
Yeah, so this whole thing happened ultimately at the this end. So Tony, uh we'll do it out of your. How many beers would you need to get through this based on the first two episodes? What would you give it as a rating?
Oh, so I have so for those who don't know, my rating is inverse. So usually a 10 out of 10 on a regular scale is like fucking great. But for me, a 10 out of 10 is pretty damn bad. That's how many 10 out of 10 beers is bad because that's when you get like drunk and all that. But for Starfleet Academy and for rare exceptions of really bad products, it goes beyond that 10 out of 10 scale. So for the first two episodes, I gave my rating for each in my own video that I'm making. I do give a rating for each episode, but for the first two episodes, I would say you would need to get 50 beers out of 10 because it is that terrible. You need to be blackout drunk and borderline dead to get through this. It's absolutely bad, and there is like barely any redeemable factors to it. There are a couple moments I thought, that's fine-ish. I don't hate it. It's passable at best, but for the most part, it's honestly terrible.
So, yeah, I would say about the same. This show is arguably not enjoyable. If I wasn't making content out of this, I would not watch this show. Now, on the other hand, if you want to watch it in your own free time and see if it's as bad as both of us say, then that's up to you. But I would wholeheartedly not recommend this show because the last 15
Look,
minutes, I'm being honest, were a damn slog.
there's only like a couple of things I can compliment it on. For example, the music is I can't even say the music is great. It's fine, I guess. Like, and that's the thing. Certain bits in it is fine. Like there is one moment towards the end of the first episode, and I remember it clearly because I thought, "Oh, that's neat." And basically, the moment is essentially is Caleb is looking out of the window, and this is towards the end of the episode, and then he sees his mother in the reflection. He turns around and he sees Holly Hunter's character. And that's supposed to be like a surrogate mother sort of moment. And I thought, oh, that's neat. Well done, Kurtzman. You did directing. Awesome. But then the rest of it is like, oh, it's back to Kurtzman dribble. And then the romance is fine, but ultimately it's too much of the focus of the second episode. It's awful.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about this whole bullshit in general. Like, not counting the Holly Hunter like chair sitting scenes that nearly gave
Oh, for
Tone.
fuck's sake. I hate that. Don't you dare bring that up, Cal. I'm honestly like walking around my room now because you did it. I was sitting in my chair and now I'm standing up in my bedroom just fucking complaining about a goddamn chair.
So basically, there was like 6 or 8 positions, and they got more ridiculous than the last. So there was one where she crossed her legs over the armrest. There was one where she was had her legs over the armrest, her neck, and she was reading a book.
That's another thing. She's a Starfleet cap. I'm not liking it.
How did OBS disconnect? Oh, it disconnected for like
Oh, we're
one
back
second.
now.
Yeah.
But like, God, like genuinely, like
Oh yeah,
I
because they're working
wasn't
on the
like,
power lines outside. My bad. Like, so my internet cut out for a
oh,
sec.
okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. But
Living in
like
Florida,
when it
am I
comes to
right?
like yeah, well, I wouldn't know. I live in Australia, but I did have a couple of problems during like a couple of live streams in the past, so there is that. But like the fact that she treats like the chair like a wine mom on a sofa is honestly like, how are we supposed to take this character seriously in front of her subordinates who are on an active starship when she's like laying about and all that? It's just I can't I can't take the show seriously when it needs to be serious.
That's fair. And like, so that's not even the worst part, I would say, about this show in general. There's another are we still good on viewers? Did it reconnect good?
We should be good, yeah.
Yeah. Is anyone still in the chat or
I mean, Gao is, but yeah, we got 4 people watching, so yeah, that's good. Hey, he's still there. He's still
Yep.
typing away.
Okay, so after that we had the just me. Yeah.
That's
So,
all good, dude.
yeah. So like this whole situation in general. So after the chair scene, we uh we had some other ones, which is like Paul Giamatti's like, don't trust the government. Government's out to get you. Blah 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 blah. The
It
Federation
pretty
is.
much was that. But like, it's like Paul Giamatti's character is clearly going for a well, he's supposed to be a pirate, but the problem is though, is that he's a campy villain that I just do not take seriously, especially when he's supposed to be intimidating.
That's fair. Like I was watching this, and like I think the worst part about this whole thing in general was we start to notice some of the characters. Like, okay, so do you want to talk about how they bastardized like some of the Deep Space Nine characters, like races, Tony?
Well, we've talked about the Jem'Hadar. That was
No,
utterly
like in the background.
terrible.
No,
Like,
the ones in the background who we didn't talk to.
oh well, there are a couple of like. So I remember there was this one race of characters, and I can't remember the race of characters off the top of my head, but basically, it's one of the famous like original series, one of the original series races. It's the one where it's like this guy is like half black, half white on left side, right side, and at in that episode, I believe, if I recall correctly, it was just two guys, and they were the last of their species. One was on a blackface on the right side, and the other one was blackface on the left side, and vice versa, black and white. And essentially, it was supposed to be an allegory for racism and war and shit like that. But like during, like, I'm pretty sure they killed each other by the end of the episode.
So yeah,
But
how is
like
there
in
more?
this show, how is there a girl there? Makes no sense. Also,
They
we forgot to mention the most glorious of characters, Stephen Colbert as the AI, freaking for the ship.
yeah. Because the whole time we saw him on the cast list and we weren't sure who he was, and then we found out he was the AI.
I didn't even know he was like the AI voice guy until like we actually heard it. Oh, another thing that pisses me off is that you can tell it's very modern day because they have a freaking cafe on Starfleet Academy
Oh yeah,
called
the
Repli Cafe.
I forgot about that. So like,
It's
yeah,
so stupid.
they can replicate anything, so they choose to recreate a cafe. Well, it kind of tracks. They're in California, so
It's just I
yeah.
don't get who this is made for. It's like I get what Kurtzman thinks it's trying to made for, which is basically teenagers trying to get them into Star Trek. But the issue is that not a lot of young folks, spoilers, like Star Trek.
That's fair in general. Like, it's that's not even the worst part of it though. Like,
What's the worst part?
so Gal Caramon, white women.
Yeah, but even white women can't stand this shit, man.
I guess some people in California might like this show, but you know,
Dude, no one in California is watching this shit, man.
I don't know, man. You know, it's got 20 viewers.
Dude, the fact that Nerderotic was able to beat freaking the premiere with a live stream, and don't like, I get it. Nerderotic is like, he's a big time YouTuber, but at the same time, this is this is this is Paramount combined with this Star Trek YouTube channel. They collabed on this, and they couldn't outperform a YouTuber with a freaking Spock toy on a damn chair. That's sad. That's honestly genuinely sad now.
That's fair in general. Like, yeah, yeah. The whole time after watching it, it made me want to watch Farscape again. Like, you know,
Oh, dude, tell me about it. I haven't watched it in so long, so it would be basically watching it anew. But I remember really enjoying it. And also, we got someone that says that someday I'm going to watch the old Star Trek, not the new Star Trek. Well, I will say this: if you're gonna watch old Star Trek, watch from the original series upwards until Enterprise, including the movies, and then watch Picard season 3, and then the short film on YouTube, Unification. That's a perfect beginning, middle, and end to the show. You get the closure, you get the beginning and end of the original series and the Berman era, and also you get a goodbye to the TNG crew with Picard season 3 and Kirk and Spock in Unification.
and
It's a perfect
you.
ending,
I mean, you forgot
and
to
it
mention
works
it, but
well.
like Deep Space Nine is a good one. And if you're gonna watch Voyager, don't watch the last season of Voyager. But everything other than that on
I
Voyager is
I would still recommend watching Star Trek, the original series, TNG, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and Enterprise. Even though Voyager does have its low points, like really, really low points, especially the last, I want to say 2 episodes. The last two part of Voyager is really bad, guys.
You
But
also want to point
I will
out that
say,
this isn't the only Star Trek Discovery, Tony.
yeah, Star Trek Discovery is like terrible.
No, I mean this isn't the only one. There's a better version, a video game.
Oh, yeah, no. So back in the 90s or 2000s, no, 90s, because it takes place between Star Trek 5 and 6. William Shatner and a couple of the other crews were filmed a FMV video game. So basically one of those full motion video games. And essentially that was called Starfleet Academy. That's that's a better Starfleet sort of experience than this crap.
Yeah, it's fair. Like, so if there's a Star Trek Discovery to watch, you just watch that because it's all in FMVs. So,
Don't watch Star Trek Discovery. Just no, honestly, just
the game
do not
version.
watch Star Trek Discovery. No,
Watch
no,
the
no, no,
game
no.
version.
Just search up Star Trek Starfleet Academy FMV video game. Just do that, and you should be set.
Yep.
But yeah, you're welcome, because I would say even if you do not like Voyager or Enterprise, I will say the lows in that are still better than probably the highs in 90% of new Star Trek.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
So if we watch, oh yeah, I know that William Shatner did Tech Wars. He's been in a
Oh,
bunch
hey,
of
Master
stuff.
Gal.
What's up, Gawa? But yeah, like so that was the whole thing with that. Um you know, this kind of makes me want to like just like after we're done with this Starfleet Academy. I didn't know there was a game for Tech War. But after we're
Oh,
done with
really?
yeah, I had no idea. Um Afterward I would also kinda soft recommend Andromeda too, because Gene Roddenberry worked on that. Wrote some of the scripts.
Yeah, so if I recall correctly, that was produced after he passed away, but a lot of the scripts were written like before he passed away.
And there's 5 seasons of that, so I would if you are gonna watch something Gene Roddenberry, I would watch that. There's a couple Gene Roddenberry shows that aren't attached to Star Trek. You know, he made a
Yeah, I'd
couple.
say Deep Space Nine was the last good Star Trek. Master Gal, I would probably I like proper like classic era Star Trek. Yeah, I would say you're right. I would say I really have a soft spot for Picard season 3. That is a really good series for me. But the problem is though is that it's attached to 2 seasons of Picard season 1 and 2, which are
That weren't
just
good.
dog shit.
Yeah. So like yeah, Deep Space Nine's a great show. Like it had a good beginning, middle, and end. You know.
I have mixed feelings on the
Oh yeah,
ending.
mixed feelings on the
I ain't
end.
gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, because so I don't want to give any spoilers, but the only Star Trek that was able to like nail its ending was TNG and Picard season 3, ironically, because Voyager was a really terrible two-parter ending. The final episode of Enterprise is considered one of the worst endings to like a Star Trek series. And with Deep Space Nine's ending, it had a lot of mixed sort of issues when it came to a certain character's fate. And yeah, but Garrick, I agree. Garrick is one of the best Star Trek characters of all time.
Yeah, like the whole show in general, like something I am a fan of with it with Deep Space Nine is like you can go to episode. And I think that's like something that we're missing from modern Trek besides the, you know, bargain bin trash like narrative that they have currently. Um I'm hoping for the best that Kurtzman gets replaced after Starfleet. But
So, like, I hope so too, but at the same time, I'm not holding out hope because it's Hollywood and God knows how he's able to stay in business. But hey, listen, he's got to keep doing stuff. But like, when it comes to Star Trek, it's just genuinely sad seeing how schlocky it's become. Like, the best Star Trek is now is like a generic action sort of fun thing. And when they try and do smart things like classic Trek, it just falls way too short.
that's fair. You know, like I think a major thing with this show in general, like everything that's going on, is it just doesn't measure up to the old ones in general. Like, if I was to say, like, I would recommend Andromeda, Deep Space Nine, anything over this show. And I know some people are gonna hate watch this show, but I'm gonna be honest. If it wasn't for the fact that I do stuff delivered from from Walmart, I wouldn't have Paramount Plus. You know, because I get that for free through that. But
I mean, I get it for free through different methods, but hey, that's just me.
oh yeah,
But
sailing the high seas, my brother.
what are you talking about? It's just
Yeah.
mine came off the back of a pirate ship. But when it comes to like, when it comes to this show, I I I will admit I am doing it purely based on the content. But the thing is, though, is that I'm always hopeful for Star Trek to like get better because with Picard season 3, when I heard there was another season, I was like, I've been burnt a couple times, but through word of mouth, I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. Through Robert Meyer Burnett and like Dave Cullen, and then I eventually watched the first episode. I really enjoyed it, and then it just got better from there until the final episode, and I was like, I was really satisfied. And that's what I'm hoping for this. The first 2 episodes are shit, but I'm always hopeful to be like, you know what? Maybe it's a rough start. Maybe the third episode turns out to be a great episode. I'd have no hope for it, but I'm always hopeful for it. My optimism is like, come on, please be good. My inner Star Trek fan is hoping for it to be good. But truthfully, I can't. Like, I can't see it being good.
That's fair. You know, like just going through this whole show in general, it is a struggle. Like the show feels longer than it is. You know, it may say an
I
hour.
agree.
It may say an hour on paper, but when you're watching through this crap, it's there ain't no way this is just an hour in my opinion.
So what's worse is that the first episode is an hour and 15 minutes, right? And like it has to set up so many things, but it just doesn't like flow well. The action scenes aren't entertaining or engaging. And with episode 2, it's a pointless romance that's so boring. I could just like fall asleep to it. I'd rather watch paint dry than watch that crap. It's that
Oh,
bad.
that's a fair point, Master Goa. Um, give up on Trek, return to the past
Give up on track.
with Babylon 5.
Yeah.
Babylon 5, arguably, in my opinion, is a show that if you're a sci-fi fan, you should watch in general. Regardless,
That's
like,
fair, Mastercow, on giving up Trek because after like so much, it has been rough. That being said, I'm always like, I am the optimistic bastard that will go to like anything and be like, please be freaking good. But like the problem is though, is I come up snake eyes every time. It's sort of like with Star Wars. Like I enjoyed Andor. That was like a pleasant surprise. And like I'm hopeful for another like, a gold mine and a bevy of shit. Problem is though, is that you have to drudge through a bunch of crap to get through that gold mine. Too bad that, well, right now we're in the era of, well, crappy slop.
That's true. Like the issue that I find a lot with modern Trek and stuff is it's less episode to episode, which the original show was. You could pick up a random episode, and the story would, at most times, unless it's a two-parter, it would be self-contained. Here, that's not the case.
Yeah, that is true because when it comes to Star Trek in the past, especially with the original series, TNG, to some extent, Voyager, and yeah, I would say maybe a bit of Enterprise. Those series were very much episodic by episodic nature. Now, granted, with Enterprise, it did have that episodic nature, but it had like ongoing arcs. With Deep Space Nine, by the end of it, it was like a serialized show with the Dominion War. But for the most part, Star Trek was very much an episodic show. You can just pick up an episode, have a good time, and then move on from there. With Star Trek now, you have to get invested from episode one. But the problem is, though, it's got that whole J.J. Abrams mystery box overarching story that it just doesn't really. It can't be proper Star Trek with an episode in and out sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that's where I think, for lack of a better term, Strange New Worlds is doing better than other shows. Now, I'm not saying it's good, but Strange New Worlds is doing that episodic nature, and it's doing it better than other shows. I will say that. I don't like it, but it's that.
That's fair. Like, when it comes to modern Trek in general, I say this about J. You could apply this to JJ. You can apply this to any person. So JJ Abrams, for example, has, and I've told Tony about this, in my opinion, he's an emulator, not an innovator in general.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
he's good at emulating other people's styles. I mean, Super 8 was pretty much just a Spielberg film, you know. Episode 7 was him trying to emulate Lucas for A New Hope, you know. I don't know what episode 9 was, but
I think both of his Star Trek movies, Star Trek 2009 and Star Trek Into Darkness, was him attempts of Star Warsing Star Trek, and he succeeded for a little bit until he got to like Star Wars Episode 9.
yeah, so like I definitely do agree to that. So I I'm in the same camp as Tony. I hope that the new movies will do well, but I wouldn't get my hopes up too high.
Well, I don't. I would say I'm more optimistic for the movies than Star Trek TV shows because as of right now, Kurtzman is still in charge of the TV side of Star Trek. But I was telling Cal the other day, Alex Kurtzman is not attached to the Star Trek movies that will be coming out by Paramount. So there is hope that the next era of Star Trek movies will stray away from that Kurtzman era sort of action schlockiness and terrible writing. But again, that's me being hopeful and speculative of it.
Is there anyone who's like a big sci-fi director anymore? Like, is there?
Best I could say is like Denis Villeneuve, the director of Dune,
Yeah,
Denis Villeneuve, I believe. He's probably the closest to a big time like sci-fi director now because like he did Arrival and he did the Dune movies. But besides that, there aren't really many like sci-fi directors I could think of off the top of my head.
I hope no one in the chat puts like what is it, Rebel Moon from Zack
Oh,
Snyder.
you mean Zack Snyder's crappy? Oh god, that was awful.
Hey, you gotta watch the ultimate cut, Tony. You gotta watch the
Yeah, dude, I saw one clip of that where a guy is getting like, I don't want to describe it because YouTube probably take the stream down, but well, have you seen some Japanese anime, the explicit type? Well,
pretty much
a
that,
certain
yeah.
thing happens to a guy that I'm like, oh god, it's so gross.
Gal Karamon.
Oh, Gal Caramon. If you also want to watch old Star Trek, if you want to see like a really good bridge between the original series and the first Star Trek movie, the motion picture, watch Star Trek Continues on YouTube by it's go to YouTube, Star Trek Continues. It's a really good series by Vic Mignogna, I believe. And basically it bridges the gap perfectly between the original series and the motion picture. It's a fan series. I think it's 11 episodes, and it's some of the best Trek we have seen.
Gal Karamon said tentacle.
Oh God, yeah, it's the tentacle.
Yeah. But like in general, um where do you think the show's gonna go, Tony?
All right. So you talked about rumors in the private discussion we had like a
Oh,
couple
okay.
days back
I'll say it.
about what yeah.
Yeah, we'll say it. Since no one in here is probably not gonna watch the chat, like watch the show at all that's in the chat. Um,
I
so
doubt Paramount's gonna strike us.
yeah, too small of a channel. But like, so there's two major leaks. One is that the Borg are coming back, and then two is Khan. The main character is
Now
supposed to
listen.
related to Khan.
Now listen. I don't know if this is true. I don't know if these leaks are even, possible because, you know, that would be stupid. But then again, it's Kurtzman Trek. And also, like, can we just not move on from the Borg and Khan? Like, every single show has to have some connection to one of those two. And like, honestly, I'm tired, man. I'm
The
honestly tired.
the main character's supposed so the major leak is the main character is supposed to be related to Khan. So, oh joy. Now, I wouldn't have
Yeah,
put
just what
in.
we wanted.
I wouldn't have. I was telling Tony on a private call about this. I wouldn't have put any stock in this theory till I looked at the. And you could look there yourself, mind you. Go to the Star Trek official YouTube. Go to their official YouTube. That's check marked and all. You will see audiobooks from Khan's perspective.
Yeah, so the Khan audio series, that was originally supposed to be spearheaded by Terry Metalis, who ended up doing Picard season 3, so wins there all around, I guess. But this basically tells the events of, I believe, what happened after he was marooned on City Alpha 5, after the events of Space Seed, and before the events of uh, the Wrath of Khan, if I'm remembering correctly. That being said, why would they drop this like before Starfleet Academy? It's kind of suspicious.
Yeah, so like I wasn't putting any stock into it till I looked on the official and I saw it. So that rumor is definitely true. I don't know if the rumor about the Borg coming back is true. If it is,
Dude, the saddest thing is that Picard, again, I have to bring it back to Picard season 3 because that ended the Borg story perfectly, where the TNG crew were finally able to destroy the Borg. Spoilers, but essentially that happened, and it was really good payoff. It worked wonderfully, and it was like it bridged the gap between the original show and Picard season 3. But if we're bringing back the Borg again, I am honestly tired. Let the Borg go. Let Khan go. Just move on.
What's the what's the holes? What's the holes like meme? I'm tired, Grandpa. That's what Kurtzman is
Yeah,
doing to your franchise.
and I feel like freaking the guy from the Green Mile. I'm tired, boss. That's how I feel.
Yeah. But yeah, like in the back of my mind, I would say it's not true. You know what I mean? Like for the leaks. But then I know Kurtzman's would most likely do this. Now if
It,
he's
but the thing
rumored.
is, though, is that I don't put it past them. I don't put them past them because, like, in Strange New Worlds, they have a character who is related to Khan, which makes no sense because she's interacting with Kirk and Spock and all that. And also, like, she goes back in time, like in one of the episodes, she goes back in time to stop one of the people trying to assassinate Khan. And then, like, the Borg has been a recurring through Picard season 1, 2, and 3. It's genuinely like I'm over those two. Can we move on from that? Oh, I even forgot. I think the Borg is even in Lower Decks, and I think Prodigy, if I remember correctly. So there's another two shows that the Borg have shown up in.
Yeah,
It's
so
just sort of like I'm tired, man. I'm tired of the Borg. I'm tired of Khan. Can we just move on from this?
yeah, that's fair. Like man, it it's just so draining watching this show.
I'm not gonna lie. When we were watching Star Trek, Starfleet Academy 1 and 2 together, we had to have like a break in between the episodes, and then like that was the most cathartic like 20-minute break I've ever
And
felt. I
then
felt like a prisoner
I mean
being tortured,
I
and then
was
it's
I was playing Witchfire and then Tony's like, "We got to go back. It's time." And I'm like, "No. God, no."
we eventually went back and good God, man, there was a point towards the end of episode 2 where like we paused it. And then we're like, we had a bit of a chat. And then, like, 5 minutes later, we had to pause again. And it felt like an eternity, but there was so much going on that we were like, dude, this shit sucks.
Bar none, I normally don't say like I'll watch crappy movies. I mean, and I've showed a few to Tony, you know, Franny Krueger.
Oh, that was
But
awful, man.
but even Birdemic, I'll watch it and you can make content out of it, and it is a horrible movie. But I don't think I could ever rewatch these episodes after the first time or second time when I was these two times I did it. It was a struggle to get through it the second time, writing out notes on a video to record.
Yeah, so I'm currently in the process, as of this stream, editing my video. Um, I'm gonna be honest, this is going to be a long video, and I don't think I'm gonna be real. I don't think I can get it out before my episode 3 video because it is that long, and like if I had to take a guess right now, it's probably upwards of the 2 hour mark. And that's reviewing episode 1 and 2.
So
It's
what?
that bad.
So Tony, would you ever think about like wanting to do a rewatch for this show or huh?
I'm Cal. Cal, I'm gonna be honest. If you say a rewatch one more time, I'm going to hang up on you.
Okay.
It's just like this does not deserve a rewatch, but I think we've rewatched it so many times because we have to make content out of it.
Please say no from Gao Karaman. Yeah, like
Gal Caramon, yeah, no, it's rough, man. I
besides
would not subject myself to that.
besides me joking about this, um I would not recommend like watching it at all. Like I know some people are like gluttons for punishment, so they're probably gonna watch this dog shit. But couldn't be me again. You know,
But yeah, Gal, come on, I really recommend like the original series, right up until Enterprise, with all the movies in between, and then Picard season 3 and the short film Unification, if you can find it. It's unlisted, um, and I will like if you do join one of the streams, maybe we can stream it, Cal, because it's like a really good sort of like
stream what?
short film, the
The Star.
Unification short film.
Oh, for Star Trek. Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, yeah.
We could do that for a stream.
Uh, because like it's genuinely some of the best. Like it's a good closure to the franchise between two characters, and it honestly like I was sort of satisfied with that, and I was like, if I never watch a Star Trek show after that, I'm fine with it. And it's beautiful, and it is a very like a heartfelt goodbye to what we had before. And now we have more Kurtzman Trek to undermine that. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I don't think I can. I'm running out of things to say about this crappy show. I think we just like covered everything. What do you think, Tony?
Uh yeah, I'd say we covered pretty much everything. It is it's kind of hard to like cover this show because like if you don't have it in a video form like we are preparing or like Cal is probably going to upload soon, it gotta be honest, this live stream that we did, it's very messy. And the reason being is because we have so many thoughts with this show and they're not good. And it's kind of hard to like reassess the show in like a
Uh,
chronological sense because when we are trying to like say something, we have to jump back to another thing that happened before or after because it makes zero sense and it contradicts the thing that was said in the present.
yeah. Like I forgot to mention like there was the Ferengi in the background of this in the episode. And that
Yeah.
the prosthetics looked fucking bad.
So with the Ferengi, right? That was a redesign from Discovery. Now, bear in mind that a lot of these redesigns of certain races, they are from Discovery. So if you want to blame a lot of these like designs, for example, the Klingon design, you can just go back and blame it on Discovery because Discovery was the first Kurtzman Trek era show, and it just sort of had a ripple effect on pretty much most of the Kurtzman era stuff. Weirdly enough, it did not affect Strange New Worlds and Picard, which is kind of odd.
That's fair. Like just like watching this whole thing, and I'm just gonna end it on this. Uh, if you want to know a basic summary of how the episode is, look up look up the Rock meme. This is the biggest piece of dog I've ever seen.
It
And
really is. Like genuinely, like it is hard to like nail down like points that you like in it because like if you find something that you like in it, chances are there's like a million other things that counteract it and negate it.
like, yeah, and we're gonna end it here. Remember to like, comment, subscribe to both me and Tony. You know, and
Yeah, let's get this guy up to subscribers, man. Because you know, even though this was a messy first episode, the third episode will probably be what okay, so we're going to be changing the format. Instead of having slideshows, what we're probably going to be doing is if Cal is okay with it, we'll probably put a video up, a trailer or the episode up, but put like an overlay over it so that way we could just like talk through it and like you know once it's over we can just move on from there.
yeah, it's fair. So everyone have a good night, and I'll probably have like a Witchfire review up in 2 3 days, and yeah, as well as my Star Trek Discovery reviews. Ugh. So have a good night.
Discovery or Starfleet Academy?
Sorry,
Oh, Starfleet Academy
Starfleet.
or Discovery?
Yes, not Discovery. Starfleet Academy. I
Yeah.
ain't going that far
And
back.
if I want to, okay, I'll plug my thing then. So I've got a video coming out of Starfleet Academy. It's going to be a big one, so probably be out in the next couple of days. I want to try and get it out, and I also do live streams on my channel. So yeah, that's pretty much me.